We all know, Ryan, rise and shine. It is party time. It's Merlin World Cards, and we've got Dan, the great curator. You know, both of us, between Two Slabs. It is again Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
So we've only got an hour right tonight, guys, because Dan's got a dinner date at 7:30.
I've got a secret Marvel meeting. A secret meeting of the Marvel Illuminati. We've got a lot of things to talk about, so stay tuned for pictures and posts about that. I can't tell you who I'm meeting with.
Oh, really?
I cannot tell you who I'm meeting with, but they're big players. They're big players. There may be some deals going down at dinner tonight. We will see. I'm not involved in it, but let's just say I'm trying to broker something. Okay, so let's see how that goes.
Deals at dinner. Okay,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So we only have about an hour. I gotta jump out of here in about an hour, but we got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about. So let's let some people come into the chat here. Let's say hello to some people as people are filing in here. Our friend Brian, who supports this channel, he is the sponsor of this channel. So thank you very much, Brian. We love
Brian, our official sponsor.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the singer. Jordan Riker at Brian Adams, you're the real MVP. That's right.
Actually, I think you might need to turn the volume a little bit down.
Am I too loud now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry, guys. I had a little problem with my mic. So I have to go in from the back door. Yeah, Am I better now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Here's Chris.
Chris Sumter. What's up, boys? What's up?
Bay Area Marvel Cards.
What's up, Bay Area Marvel Cards? What's up, guys? I assume we're going to have a lot of Marvel guys tonight because of the post on our Instagram.
We got Kent here. I just mailed Kent a Marvel print today, so he's going to be getting that pretty soon.
A Marvel what?
Print.
Okay.
A print of that picture of the boat with all the Marvel characters.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I hung it up on my wall. Check it out.
Oh, Kent said he will keep your secret. Now, why aren't you over there today?
Over where? Oh, I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. You know, I wanted to sit in a different chair instead of the couch and just trying to change it up a little bit. You know, we'll see. We'll see. If you guys don't like it, then I'll go back to the other side. If you guys want to see the ship is on the other side. It's just on the other side right here, guys.
The ship is on the other side.
Hey, calm down. Calm down. The ship is still here, okay? I just moved over to the other side.
I thought the ship had sailed because what's happened with Marvel cards.
No. Too soon. Too soon. Okay, let's see who it is. Adrian.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Adrian. Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, Adrian.
Justin's in the house.
Justin. Oh, what's up? What's up, gentlemen? I didn't get to say hey to Justin. What's up, dude? Wrap up cards. What's up?
Wrap cards here. Don't worry, Justin. This is only going to go for about an hour. Okay. Jago's in the house.
What's up, Jago? What's up, guys? I see Merle with the flowers. Nice touch. Right. And I got my dump, my pup and dump, my poop. Yeah. That was my girlfriend's, but now it's our dog's. That's his chew toy now.
Okay, a couple things I have to ask is like, number one, why do you have a blonde wig, and why do you have a puff? What do they call it? A plush animal piece of crap? Like, why do you have these things?
The wig is not mine. That's my neighbor's. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Because my neighbor's, that's his wig, and he said he wore it in West Hollywood, and he got picked up because a guy thought he was a girl once, and he wore it out.
Lovely.
My neighbors are interesting, so I knew my neighbors have wigs and everything, so I said, "Would you do a Britney video for me and help me choreograph it?" And he's like, "Oh my God, I would love to!" So we did the Britney video with the card, and he did it perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better video, for a better reel on Instagram. Excellent. So that's not my personal wig, Dan. So don't worry, okay? Next time when we room together in a hotel room at our next show, don't worry. You will not wake up. You won't see me in that wig, okay? I promise.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. All right. Who else is here? Dave.
And that poop, my girlfriend collects poo emoji toys. And this is one of her toys, but now it's our dogs because you chew to the death.
That's going to be a perfect segue into our topic tonight about collecting.
Exactly.
Okay,
Dave, the dynamic duo, Pokey Hello Sports. What's up, my friends? How's it going? As Surfer, yo. Yes. We're flying through these, baby.
Yes.
VK, you guys getting ready for the Del Mar show? Yes, we are.
Can't wait for that show.
Pokey will be there too, VK.
Yes.
CV, I'm on the computer now. Finally met Merlin, goofy and likable. Thank God. Yeah. Feed the gods. Good evening, Aaron.
And then, okay, so we got through all the comments here. So what shall we talk about first? I got a lot to rant about.
I guess let's go ahead and just get Marvel out of the way.
Okay, let's talk about this. Everybody's asking questions about this. So to give you guys a little bit of context about what's going on here, there was a big Marvel auction at Golden that ended this past weekend. They had like 80 Marvel cards. They're like mostly PMGs, probably like 60 PMGs and 20 like miscellaneous cards.
Right.
That ended this past weekend, and one of the cards in particular is causing a lot of discussions in the collectible community and in the Marvel community. So that's what we're going to address here. Everybody's talking about it. You know, the meme James is talking about it. FD is talking about it. JD Collectibles, you know, Stock X, and all these other people, right? So let's
right. Neo, Joff talked about this morning. I liked his video. Good video.
Yeah. So we got to get in on this action too, right? Okay. So the card of the topic of discussion here is the Captain Marvel 2013 Blue PMG. It was like a PBS 8.5 or something like that. And what's causing all the controversy is that that card previously sold. Well, first of all, it's a very rare card and it doesn't transact that much, guys. You have to understand that. In the last like 5 months, it's probably transacted like 5 times. But the last public sale was of that grade was like in February or something like that.
Okay.
For like 80 grand, something like that. Around $80,000. And then it ended over the weekend at like 23, 22, something like that, right? So people were using that as the measuring as the base for all Marvel cards. And people were saying, see, you know, all the Marvel haters were saying, see, I told you Marvel was all hype. You had some guys saying, oh, it's a pump and dump. You had some guys saying, oh, people wasted their money. And that guy who bought it in February is down $60,000 and this and that, right? And all this like negative energy towards Marvel cards. So that's what everybody's thinking about right now. Like people are thinking, oh, you know, did I make a mistake buying these cards? You know, should I sell off? What is it, right? So before I get into my rants, do you have any thoughts on this, Merlin?
Yes, I do. And I think Neo kind of said it good. I listened to his video this morning while I was taking a shower. And I think Golden Auctions just threw too many at the same time. It's kind of like an avalanche. So let's just say here's the Merlin analogy. Okay. Let's say that you see $1 million fall from the sky. Are you going to be able to catch all those dollars of $1 million? No, you can't. Mm-hmm. And they're just dumping all the Marvel cards all at once. So I don't think they're going to get that spotlight as they deserve, or all the collectors and investors aren't going to be able to bid on them on the way they should. Mm-hmm. And so they're not going to get the premium bids that they deserve. That's how I see it. I hope I translated it the right way.
Yes. So let me
would you agree with me or what?
Let me translate that for people here. He's basically saying the supply at that time in that particular auction outweighed the demand, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
In terms, okay. And I would agree with that analysis. Anything else before? Because I'm gonna rant for like 10 minutes. So hey. I want to make sure that you get all your time to comment.
No, like it's just in my term. I just feel like it's just too many of the same cards being auctioned off at the same time, and there should have been like a nice spread of them. And sometimes I notice when I do auctions just myself through these platforms, I don't get the amount that I felt like that card deserved.
Right.
And sometimes that happens when you have too many of the same thing all at once.
Right. Okay. So, all Are you finished?
Yeah, you can go on your rant now, but that's just pretty much the sum. Because I had been thinking about that all day, so that was just the cliff notes of what I had to say.
Yes. Okay. All right. So here's my thoughts on this, guys. All right. Here's my thoughts on this. So with Marvel cards, right? They've had a huge run up in the last like 5 months. Remember, Marvel cards probably like, let's just go back 6 months. Let's go back to like October of last year. Many of these cards were like in the $100 range at that time. It was still a very niche category. It wasn't mainstream. Not that because these cards are not like valuable, but with a lot of times with cards that are not mainstream, people just don't know about it. And when people start finding out about it, and they get more attention, that's when the demand rises, and that's what causes a price increase because the supply is low. So what happened is with Marvel cards, right? Like let's just go back to October, right? 6 months ago, they start to pick up. I start buying them at that time. I start to tell people about them. Right. You start to hear other people who make content, such as like Spidey Jew. He's a big yes. Marvel fan. Marvel guy 239 and his crew. All those guys, right, are putting out content. And as the word starts to spread that these cards exist, that's when people start doing their research, and that's when the demand goes up. And that led to the price increase of that we saw over the last like 3-4 months, right? And if you go back to, if you understand how markets work, seeing something like that should not really rattle you. Okay, it shouldn't really necessarily even surprise you, and I'll tell you why. Go back to Josh Luber's paper, which I talk about all the time. I recommend it's required reading for anybody that wants to be in the card game, right? In that paper, he talks about what causes a run up of a card, any card, okay? What causes a run up and what causes the subsequent correction to that card. And I summarize this. I made 2 videos where I summarize this, so go check that out, guys. But basically, when a card is not really well known, okay, or it gets a certain amount of attention, it creates demand. All right. And the demand will overtake the supply, the limited supply at that time. And it will cause a run up because more people are competing to buy this card, right? Like, let's just say that, let's use that Captain America, for example. I searched the eBay auctions, and the only one that I could see that sold before that was a raw copy. And I think it sold for like 11 grand. Okay. In January. So let's just say that one 2013 Captain America was on sale at that time. There's only one available. And at that time, maybe there was like, 10 people that wanted to buy that card. And those 10 people are competing. And the top guy who ended up winning, he was the one that was willing to pay 11 grand for that card. All right. But that creates demand. And as demand continues to grow for that card, more people enter the market for that card. And then when the next one becomes available, which is at Golden at an 8.5 in February or whatever, right? Let's just say there's like 10 people that want that card, but 2 people are like have deep pockets. And those 2 people buy that card and they bid it up all the way to 80 grand. You got music playing there? I think Merlin's having technical difficulties here. But anyway, so as I was saying, like at that time, there's 2 people with really deep pockets where they're bidding it up. And one guy with the deepest pockets, he's willing to pay 80 grand for that card, and he wins it at that time. Okay. And the second guy at that time who was willing to pay, like, let's just say 79, he's next in line to buy that card. So the next time that it transacts, which is like last weekend, right? Maybe that number 2 guy who is willing to pay $79, maybe he has to compete with another guy who's the next guy up, but that next guy up is only willing to pay like $19,000. Therefore, he gets it at the lower price. It all depends on how many people are in the pool at that time and who are willing to buy up the card. It does not necessarily mean that the card loses value. It just depends on the demand and the pool of buyers at that time. And for high-end cards, for me, any card over like $5,000 is high-end, right?
Yes.
So a card in the 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 or higher range, right? The group of people who have the means and have the desire to spend that type of money on a card gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And as you go to different niche areas like Marvel, for example, it gets even smaller, right? So, you know, when the Marvel cards are running up, we can't possibly expect them to just go up forever, right? Like did people think that it was going to be like a $90,000 sale? Did people think it would be $100,000 sale? It can't always break the record. You know what I mean? And it all depends on the pool of buyers and the supply at that time. Also in this auction, in this golden auction, like I said, there's like 80 Marvel cards in there. Okay,
Right.
6 of those were like PMGs. So the pool of buyers that want to buy Marvel cards, that want to buy PMG cards, and have the money to buy these cards, there's a small group. They're spreading their money across 60 to 80 cards, right? It's going to affect the value, okay? These things happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Marvel market is going down, or it doesn't look bad on the market itself. It's just that auction and how it was structured at that time. If that Captain America was the only PMG card in there, or let's just say there were 10 PMG cards in there and that was the top one, does it go higher? Who knows? Maybe, probably, right?
Right.
But it's not like a poor indicator of how the market goes. And if you look at all the other auctions in there, all those cards, in my opinion, they sold pretty well because some of them were like 5s and 6s, and they were still going for like thousands of dollars.
Oh, there were PSA 5s and 6s. They weren't like 8, 7s, 8s, and 9s like they usually are.
There were grades all across the board. So there were grades from like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even a 10. And the higher end cards, they sold well. Like my friend, I know a guy who spent $28,000 on a green Black Widow PMG PSA 10, right? So so the money was being spent on these cards, but it was being spread out over so many cards that's why the overall average was a lot lower on some of these sales. So for me, when I look at that, I understand how these auctions work. Basically, there's a small group of buyers. They have money that they're allocating towards different parts. So if I see a drop in a sale, that doesn't necessarily like rattle me. What I'm looking for is did these cards sell? Yes. Did they sell for relatively comparable prices to what the card is? I would say, except for that Captain America, based on that last sale, all the other cards sold within their range of where they're supposed to go, right? Like the Black Widow, like I mentioned, or there was another one. There was like a blue Wolverine that sold for $20,000. You know, it's a lot of money, guys. It's like we can't expect these cards to like break records every single month. It's just not sustainable. That's not how the market goes. You can take Marvel cards, you can switch them out for anything else. You could put a PSA 10 Jordan 86 Flare in there. Same thing happened with the Jordan, where it had a record sale like $730,000. And then people expected it to be broken the next time around, but then it went for like 600, and then it went down to like 200, you know, and that's where it's hovering right now. That doesn't mean that the Jordan 86 Flare market is done, right? Or it was overhyped or anything like that. It just really depends on the timing, the pool of buyers, and and their willingness to pay up at that time and compete with each other. So that's why, I think auctions are an indicator of where the market is, but they're not like the standard, right? Like the next time that car goes for sale, it's probably going to go, who knows? It could go higher. It could go for like 30. It depends on how many people.
Yeah, 50. Yeah. You don't know.
Right. Based on the rarity of card. But like this is where I kind of want to segue a little bit here, is that people are just like hating, or they're just like saying that this is the end of Marvel cards or anything like that.
Yeah, they're already singing that song, "Kiss Them Goodbye." Nah, nah, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Again, we got to look at where Marvel cards were 6 months ago, right? Where nobody knew about them, and to where they are today. People are still paying up thousands of dollars for them. So to me, I think that the Marvel card market, it's not, what's the word I want to look for? It's not crashing or anything like that. It's just, it's the subsequent correction. Okay. If you understand what causes the run up and what causes the correction, it's following the same model along those lines based off of that. But the other thing I kind of want to segue here into, this is where the rant gets really long, guys. Okay. So apologies, but all the people all the people that are like cheering on for this, or trying to look at this from the negative perspective is
right.
And this, guys, really, this is all about perspective, right? If you love Marvel cards like me, you look at it from the positive perspective. That yes. being that these cards are selling for tens of thousands of dollars still. If you look at it from the negative perspective, you're like, you don't like it, then you're saying, oh no, it's falling from the last sale that it is.
It's right? over. It's over now.
So it's all about perspective. And it's hard to change people's perspectives. They see things how they want to see it, they hear what they want to hear. But what kind of bothers me, and this is what really bends my corner, guys, is these people that are like celebrating this lower sale. You have accounts that are highlighting, saying, is this the biggest drop of any card of all time? You have people, calling other people out saying, oh, Marvel was all hype. You have people saying it was a pump and dump. You have people saying Marvel cards are not valuable as sports cards and people shouldn't be buying it and things like that. And I feel like
it's one big fraud.
Yeah, I feel like these people are rooting against
they are
cards, right?
They are
the same way they would root against, I don't know, like Zero Cool cards.
I watched like 3 or 4 videos this morning, and those guys were all saying that. They were all like happy. They're like, I told you so. I told you so.
Yeah, exactly. They're so happy. They feel so validated, and they're so happy, and that they're saying, I told you so. They take such satisfaction in this. And that's what really bothers me. And I made a post the other day about this that got a lot of traction. But basically I said that we need to stop rooting for people to lose in the card game. We need to cheer everybody and realize that we are one community. Okay. And let me explain this point, and I'll let you respond to this, Merlin, and we'll take comments after this though. But we have to understand that we are a community, a hobby of card collectors. Cards are a form of collectible, right? If you like Marvel, for example, you could be a toy collector and just collect toys. You could be a comic collector. You could collect like outfits, like wear, t-shirts and stuff like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a card collector. And in fact, if we look at the grand scheme of things, in terms of all the people out there that enjoy these different IPs, card collecting is still a very niche thing. It's not mainstream yet, right? So we as card collectors, because that's the form of collectible that we enjoy, we need to understand that we need to support all types of cards. If we want people to jump into our hobby and recognize cards as a legitimate form of collectible, then we need to support all IPs within our community. That's Marvel, Star Wars, sports, music, entertainment, all these things, because they're all cards, right? And we need to basically cheer for all these different categories to do well and to attract more people, because the more people that jump into our hobby and see cards as a legit form of collectible that has value, that will appreciate, the more people that come in, it raises the demand for whatever cards that they're looking for. So and true. They may cross over. They may be Marvel collectors, but they may cross over to music collectors or sports collectors or whatever, right? And I think there's a lot of people in the hobby that view cards through a very narrow lens. I only collect sports cards. Everything else is junk to me. Everything else is pump and dump. I only collect, entertainment cards, and everything else is junk to me. And we can't think like that, guys. We have to realize that we are all card collectors. One community, one hobby, card collectors. We collect different types of cards, right? But we are all card collectors. So we need to basically cheer for other all these cards to win. We need to cheer for sales when they happen. We need to look at things through a positive lens and speak positively about all these different categories. Because if we call cards like all hype, or they're junk, or they have no value, how do we expect to grow as a hobby, right? When we do things like that, it can't all be sports cards. It can't all be basketball, baseball, football. There's other sports. There's soccer. There's
golf,
tennis, cricket, right? Yes. And they're all cards. And that's what I want people to understand, because I feel like there's too much. What's the word I'm looking for? There's like too many people that look down on other types of cards, saying that the card is not worth.
They're just negative Nellies.
Yeah. Like why is a Captain America blue PMG not worth $80,000 or $20,000 when a Michael Jordan card is worth $100,000, right? Like, what is the difference besides the subject matter of the card? What is the difference? They're both cards. They're both presumably rare. They're both presumably high grade, right? The only difference is the subject matter and the demand for that card, which affects the price. And that's very relative to whatever we're talking about, right? So I think I'm going to go on this like mission in the next few weeks where I'll just be like telling people, hey, you need to stop looking down on other people's cards, right? You need to stop basically trying to shame people or look at things through a negative lens where people are enthusiastic and talk positively about their cards. And you need to just encourage people to do well. Okay. I've been going to a couple local shows over the last couple weeks, and I've been meeting a lot of people that collect mainly sports cards. And man, their attitudes are so down. They're like depressed because their sports cards are going down in value. And I talk to them, and I feel bad for them because I know that they're probably going to leave the hobby the way that they talk to me. They say, oh, I'm losing money. All my cards are down. I can't flip like I used to and things like that. And I feel bad for these guys because I know they're going to leave the hobby. And if they leave the hobby, that's one less person to transact with, one less person to spend their money in the hobby ecosystem. I never root against anybody. I always want these people to do well. I always want them to sell their cards and make money because I know that's how we grow the hobby. And I recognize in the big picture, the big grand scheme of things, that the more people we have in the hobby, the more demand those people bring for whatever type of cards they collect. And that makes the value of cards rise. And that's what I think a lot of people are forgetting, right? And it really bends my corner when I talk, about cards and I show off the cards I have and things like this. And certain wannabe, influencers or other people like that will talk bad about me and try to say that like I'm pumping up cards that they've never seen before, right? And I can't be excited about my own collection. I can't show it off on my own Instagram.
Yeah, that's all you're doing is showing excitement like everybody else.
It's called
like me or anyone else.
It's called
or like
pride
a 12-year-old boy.
Ownership, guys. Pride of ownership, right? That's why we have card accounts. That's why we specifically have card accounts so that we can show off things that we collect. And this is how it works, guys. Okay, and this will be the last part of my rant, I promise. And then we'll go to comments here. But we collect all sorts of different things. We cannot all collect the same thing, the same type of card. So we collect rare things. And when we do that, we want to show them off. We want to educate people on what they are and put it out there. And when people see the things that they've never seen before, if they like it, maybe they go look for the same card, and that raises the demand, which raises the price. And people might look at that as like pumping a card or whatever, or hyping it up, but it's just like showing off the stuff that we love to collect. And here's where people are I think have things mixed up. So many people out there are viewing the hobby through a lens of profit only, right? Like anything that we buy, it's only for profit. But we've got to remember the roots of what we do here is we collect. We collect cards that now have suddenly appreciated. Okay, so there's value attached to it, but we collect them first, all right?
Yes. And
we show them off, and that indirectly creates demand, which raises the value of the cards, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, it's also not a bad thing when you have a card and then suddenly that card becomes very desirable and very valuable and you sell that card. Okay, that's not dumping. Okay, that's not pumping and dumping or whatever you want to call it. That's people with a low cost basis, okay, cashing in when they can because it makes sense, and then moving that money into something else. And I think that a lot of people not a lot of people, I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't overgeneralize, but certain people are just looking at it through the wrong, like a negative lens. They're just assuming the worst. And that's like, I don't know why we have that attitude now, but I just want that to go away. Okay. I want everybody to cheer for people to win. I want people to show off their collections and educate people about cards they've never seen before. And that's the best way to grow the hobby. And that's the best way to protect our collections, Okay, that's it. That's my rant here. Let's get to some comments. Do you have anything to add to that before we get to the comments?
No, I agree. Dan, I know you have a lot of subscribers and followers on Instagram, but I don't think you have that big of a power yet to create dump and pump. Not anywhere close. You're not putting a gun to anyone's head, your eye, and saying you got to buy these PMGs or else. I mean, most of these people that come to our table, because if you know us all, that Dan and I go to the same shows all around the country together. They're usually always the same vendors, the same collectors, the same investors, the same content creators that will come to our tables. And they're the ones who are buying these PMGs and the Marvel and the Star Wars and the wrestling, all this non-sports and sports at our tables constantly from us, because they know what we bring to the table. And that's their choice. I mean, they want to collect it just as much as we do. This is what we've been collecting since I met Dan from day one a year ago. We haven't changed our, collections at all. This is what we enjoy doing. This is our passion. We just happen to be selling what we enjoy doing. That's it. And we're not going to change. A year from now, we're still going to have Marvel cards. We'll probably still have Star Wars. We'll still have wrestling cards. I don't know how well they'll do a year from now, but we'll probably still have them. Do you agree, Dan?
Yeah. And, I had a bunch of fools tagging me on all these posts where they talk about like how bad these sales were and saying that Marvel's all hype and that, I was leading people down this path. Like, look, guys, I didn't just start collecting Marvel cards in the last couple of months. I've been collecting Marvel cards since I got back into card collecting. Okay. Exhibit A here, this frame. These are all framed 1992 Marvel masterpieces I have here. Okay. But with the PMGs, I started collecting those probably about 6 months ago when my friend Justin Spidey Jew turned me on to them, because I had never heard of them before until he told me what they were. And that's when I started buying it. And then that's when I started showing it off on my page. Right. And we shouldn't be shamed for showing things off. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people always assume the worst. Like, if we show off a card that nobody's ever seen before and, we have a set value for it that we think that we paid for it or that we would sell it for, people always assume the worst about it because they've never seen it before. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't make sense to me why people have to have such negative attitudes about these cards that they've never seen before. Just because they don't understand it or they might not value it the same way other people do doesn't mean that it's worthless. You know what I mean?
I know. It's funny. I've even read some of these people's comments, and that was the joke on one of my videos I posted the other day, saying about the curator cult, that some people were leaving comments saying that you are leading me down this cult path into Star Wars and Marvel and taking advantage of me.
Well, okay. So just to respond
to that. Were you doing that, Dan? Were you doing that to me?
To respond to that, like, if you guys are buying these cards strictly for profit, you're trying to sell it and you lose money, I can't do anything about that.
No.
But I would hope that you buy these cards because you've never seen it before. Me and Merlin talk about it. We show it off on our pages. You think it's cool and you collect it because you think it's cool and you have fun doing that. That's my main motivation for sharing all my things. And, if I can grow the hobby of collectors that want these cards that we collect, that will raise the value of the cards because there will be more demand for it. That's how it works. It's all connected in that way, but that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell everybody, like, you and me, we love doing this. I mean, you get up in the morning and do this. You stay up. I mean, I have Dan texting me sometimes at 1 a.m. saying, look at this. I mean, I'm an auction right now. What do you think about this, Merlin? Should I bid on this or not? I mean, Dan is still passionate at 1 or 2 in the night. And I'm telling him, like, Dan, go to bed, dude, go to bed. Yeah. Because that's how much he loves doing this hobby. It's more than just trying to make money. He loves, buying these cards, and I do too. I'm sitting there, on ComC and eBay and My Slabs just as much as everybody else. And we love going to these shows and talking about our passions and how addicted we are doing this. It's just more than just selling, folks. Yeah. I mean, it's talking about our passion and our addictions and everything.
And this happens with everything, guys. This is happening with wrestling right now. Like me and Merlin have been talking about wrestling for a long time, right?
Well, we love wrestling.
But now that the Wwe Prizm has come out, now these prices are going all crazy. And, there's some shenanigans going on with like shield bidding and this and that. That's a different topic. Okay. But we're not talking to those people that do that. We're talking to the people that collect this stuff and wonder if they're buying cards that will maintain the value of whatever they're paying for it. Things like that. But this happens in every single market. And you have to basically grow the the community around that category if you want these cards to stay valuable. But you shouldn't be talking down about it, or you shouldn't be making fun of other people that collect these things, because I just don't see the point or the value of doing that. Okay.
Well, I wanted to tell you and ask you, because all these negative Nellies who are, betting against us, they're saying now that everybody's going to hit the panic button and start dumping all the PMGs for super dirt cheap. Do you believe that?
Maybe. Honestly, like if these people keep talking about it, what they do is they sow doubt in the minds of people that don't understand what's going on. And when you have that doubt, it creates insecurity, and you kind of follow the crowd, and you'll sell off the same way that people buy into stuff when they have FOMO. Okay, they get that same feeling of insecurity, right? Because of all these people, what they're talking about. And that's what I want to highlight. Like, we shouldn't be trying to undermine the confidence of the market when these people are buying these cars, right? If you say all these cars are useless, you sell off, some people are going to listen, and some people will do that. And that's only going to further hurt the market and the overall hobby, of collecting cards. So that's why in my post I said that we need to just stop rooting for people to lose, and we need to cheer for people to win, encourage people. If we all stick together, right? If nobody panic sells and everybody sticks together, then we do well, right? But if you have a branch that breaks off of a bunch of people that panic sell, then you're going to get stuff that happened that, like, last year, right? Last year with the card market and things like that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how much more I can add to this, but I just think that, like, people are viewing these things through a negative lens, because that's just how they are. And
but don't people react like this too in stock market?
Yes, stock market, anything. But with collectibles, it's different. It's different because we support the category. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we control it. Okay. So as much as we like it and as much demand is there, that's what creates the value of the cards, right? When the demand is no longer there, or the demand is overtaken by supply, that's when the card values go down. But we have control over that, is what I'm trying to tell people. So anyways, let me get to some comments here.
Okay, let's do it.
Because I don't want to rant too much. I could go on.
No, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's see here.
What do we got?
All right.
Let's see. We got Aaron. Let's hit one. Click it.
Hold on. I got to filter some of these comments here, guys.
Okay, let's filter. Someone was asking me. I saw a question saying, "How was I watching the showering?" I wasn't watching it. I was listening to it. Most of these podcasts, I listen to them on my Bluetooth. What's up, Dan and Merlin? Will you guys be in Dallas in May? Dan will. I will not be at that one, but I'll be back in July, guys.
Yes.
Spectre Fitness. Anyone that is educated knows that is common sense. It's basic economics. That is correct,
guys. All you have to do is look at other type of collectible categories, right? Like, or not collectible categories, but markets. You could look at crypto. You could look at stocks. You could look at the housing market. And what happens is things go up, but it cannot go up forever. All right. Understand that nothing ever goes up forever.
Everything eventually bubbles.
Right. It's all supply and demand dynamics, right? When the supply is low and the demand is high, prices go up until the supply overtakes the demand. When supply overtakes the demand, less competition to buy something, price goes down. That's what they call the correction. Okay. And that will last for a period of time. And then when the demand overtakes supply again, it goes back up. This happens in everything, guys. So it was bound to happen with Marvel cards, but it shouldn't make people freak out unless you're a flipper. Okay. If you're a flipper in business where you buy something and you got to flip it the next week or the next month or whatever. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry about those people.
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to panic the flippers the most.
Right. But you know what? I don't talk to flippers. That's not my community. That's not my audience. I'm talking to collectors and investors.
Yes.
When you collect something, you buy what you like. When you invest in something, you buy something and you hold it until it appreciates in value. And then if you want to, you can cash in. And that's how I view most of my collectibles. And that's the audience that I talk to.
Well, hopefully our audience are wise investors and collectors. I think they are.
Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, Charles is in the house. Check that
Charles,
out.
oh, good. Stacking Gems. What's up, fellas? Just got here. Hope you heard what we just said, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, amen, Dan. Definitely, Jordan. We just went on a rant about the Marvel cards on Golden Auctions, Jordan. Charles. Marvel 239. If I had $1 for every time I have said Marvel isn't just PMGs, I could have bought that blue Wolvie. Yes, you could have.
That's true, guys. Like when we talk about Marvel,
so much.
when we talk about Marvel, everybody talks about PMGs because that's what I collect. But Marvel's like has a bunch of different type of cards too, so you should check that out.
Yeah, you've seen me sell, different Marvel cards at shows, haven't you, Dan?
Yeah, definitely.
Like the MCU, autos and everything.
Right.
And the Black Diamond stuff. You've had a few too yourself.
I love all that stuff. Exquisite, Marvel Masterpiece, all that stuff.
Axel C, absolutely. Great point, curator. We're all in the same hobby. We all got to root for each other. Cheer for us ticket collectors too. Yep. That's
okay. All right. Axel, you just set me off on another rant here.
Oh, what's this about?
So before people were taking a crap on Marvel cards, a couple weeks ago, they were taking a crap on ticket collectors too.
Oh, they were?
Yeah. And I'm not a ticket collector, okay, but I'm going to stand up for these guys because I just don't think, again, it's the same group of people that I don't want to say that because I don't want to start any beefs with anybody. Okay. I'm not trying to call people out here, but it's
this is call them negative Nellies.
it's the mentality that something is not collectible, right? It's the mentality that something's not collectible. And therefore, if it's not, well, I should say this. Let me reverse that.
Okay.
It's the false mentality that when people say something is not valuable. And if it's not valuable, therefore it shouldn't be collectible. Okay. Anything is collectible, guys. You could collect movie posters, you can collect tickets, you can collect bottle caps, you could collect plastic cups, whatever, right? Everything is collectible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter necessarily what the form of collectible is. What matters is the subject.
Yeah, you posted that video that those computer keyboards are collectibles.
Yes, right. People collect anything, so we shouldn't look down on other things just because we don't understand it, we don't collect it, or whatever. We don't value it. Okay, and then the second point of that is that since everything can be collectible, certain things have value based on the supply and demand of it. So with tickets, right? I mean, not a lot of people collect tickets, I assume, but that doesn't mean that they don't have value. And to kind of look down on it, again, this goes back to where people were kind of shaming other people when they try to talk up the ticket market and saying, oh, tickets are so cool and collectible. All they're doing is they are basically trying to promote the things that they collect. And we should all be promoters of the things we collect. We're our own self-marketers. If we don't promote and say how great the things that we are collecting, then nobody's going to know. And if nobody knows about it, then that's not going to increase the demand for those items, and that will never increase the value of the items, right? So I don't necessarily look down, I just don't like it when people say that's not a real thing. You know what I mean? And I even posted just as an example, this guy who had this graded movie ticket from Pineapple Express.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yep.
And I thought that was funny. But when I first saw that, I thought it was funny. But then I listened to the guy's commentary of that video where he says that this is my favorite movie. This is my ticket from opening day, this and that, right? And now I can understand why he collects it. And I don't know what value is associated with that. But, again, we shouldn't look down on other people's collections because there's a market for everything. Like if I look around my room, I could probably find like 10 different things that people would never ever collect. Like how many people collect lightsaber props, right? Mm-hmm. I do. I collect this, and believe it or not, this has certain value to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, remember I told you I actually went to the actual premiere of Pineapple Express, and I had a ticket look just like that. Yeah.
Look,
from
I got
the premiere, and I sold it 10 years ago for almost $200.
Look, yeah, I've got a ticket right here, and people want this stuff, right? It has value, so we shouldn't look down on it just because it's not a sports card, just because it's not like a traditional thing that we've seen many, many times before. There's a lot of crazy things out there that people collect that we've never seen before and that have real substantial value to it.
Anything of pop culture is, collectible. You know,
Exactly.
Curator Army mount up. Sports card mover, yes, bring in more collectors of different types of genres and watch them cross over to other areas.
Yeah, that's what it is, guys. Like, you could collect basketball cards. You could jump into the collecting game and collect basketball cards. Then you go collect something else. You can go collect football, baseball. You can jump over to Marvel. Like with us right now, right? We're really hot on Marvel, and now we're starting to get into Star Wars. Okay, just because it's fun and interesting to collect, and then we're gonna get. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna get into wrestling, guys. We're gonna be collecting wrestling cards.
We've already been to wrestling, you and me.
We are, but we're gonna talk about it more because it's just fun. It's fun to share
because it's more in the mainstream now.
Share our passion with you guys, and as I guarantee you, we're gonna be showing you cards you've never seen before. You're gonna look at it, and then you're gonna go on eBay and try to get it too. And that's what this whole thing is. It's like a cycle of collecting.
Yep, collect, buy what you like. For speculative investments, use only money you can afford to lose. That's correct. Thanks, Rick. Adrian, just like any commodity, an asset is valued according to what people are willing to pay. Value is determined by the supply available and the demand one willing to pay. That is correct. Thanks, Adrian. So true. Tri-County Boxing, non-sports cards has been around just as long, if not longer, than sports cards. It's been around for over 100 years, definitely. Or
that is true. Like there might be like a mindset here that sports cards are the only thing that have value and collectible, but guys, they've made cards of like cowboys and Indians, and celebrities.
I saw those at the National, like turn of the century.
Yeah, they've been making cards of everything for like 100 years, over 100 years, because cards are a form of collectible, right? It's not the subject matter of the card, it's the card itself. And cards have been collectible for over 100 years. That's why I keep telling people, that's why I was going on that rant in the beginning, like we're part of the card hobby. Okay. It doesn't matter the subject matter of the cards. They're all the same, right? In terms of collectability, we just collect different subcategories, but we shouldn't look down on other people for what they collect.
Nope.
Let's see here.
What's we have next? Brian Basketball is between two slabs where everyone eats. Thumbs up, dude. Tick tock. Fortnite series trading cards are also becoming more popular. Why? Because Fortnite is a very popular interactive gaming.
Yes, exactly. Like maybe, I don't know what the age demographic of our viewers are, but let's just say like if you're not under 25, you probably don't know what Fortnite is. Fortnite is a very, very popular game, the same way Super Mario was really popular in the 90s, Sonic the Hedgehog, Halo, all those things that we played in the 90s and 2000s. Fortnite is just as popular for young kids, and they have cards.
Fortnite's kind of like a metaverse, kind of, right?
Yeah. And they have cards of that stuff. I don't collect that, but I don't necessarily look down on it. And I would not be surprised if Fortnite cards were a lot of money. I don't know what the market is, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they were like super expensive, right? Because every market has a community of collectors that will value that and are willing to pay a certain dollar amount based on the supply and demand of it.
Exactly. Well, the amount of people that are into Fortnite, it's got to make those cards popular at some point in time.
Believe me, in 10 years, when these kids have money, right? When they're like 25, 30 years old and they're making, $100,000 a year or whatever, they're going to be paying up big time for these Fortnite cards.
No, definitely. Definitely. Buy a few boxes now and hold on to them, Dan.
Right.
Charles, tired of all these people with victim mentality.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Sorry, this
victimizing mentality.
This comment by Jordan just made me laugh.
Looking forward to next week's cult meeting. Me too, Jordan.
You got okay. Now,
do not talk about PMG Club at all. Okay, on here, please don't.
Now these guys are really
PMG Club. Marvel Guy, TGCC, the Great Curator Cult, love it. Please, do not talk about that on here. Toa, anything that has a following and support can be a collectible. Oftentimes, cards are an easy, tangible way to collect those IPs. Sports, Marvel, Disney are all IPs. Cards are just the medium. That's correct. Thanks, Toa. Charles, I'm drinking the juice. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid, you mean? The orange Kool-Aid? Toa, yes, please. Go ahead and dump those PMGs for cheap. Please. In fact, sell them to me. Yes, hopefully Justin will sell you and me that gold Spider-Man for maybe like $10,000.
I'll pay $20,000 for that.
I'll join in and buy that one for you.
Yeah.
Justin, are you ready? Are you going to hit the panic button, sell that to Dan and I? Let us know. Feed the gods. I'm at the point, give me the 2-liter of that good juice. I don't really care if it's cold anymore. Love collecting. Love these cards. F all those haters, honestly. Yep. Hate them all.
This is what it's about, guys. This is about us talking. Like, people who listen to us, value our opinions to a certain extent because we have common interest. Our common interest is we collect cards, we collect Marvel cards, sports cards, wrestling cards, whatever, Star Wars cards, right? And we are building a community around the things that we love to collect. And you have these other people that are not necessarily part of the community because they don't want to be a part of it, right? They collect their own thing, but they look down on us because we talk about it. We're excited about it. We pay a lot of money for these things, and they kind of like turn their nose at us, saying that we have ulterior motives or that our collectibles are not valued in their opinion. And I just think that's all a bunch of like crap. I feel like these guys need to focus on building their own communities and worry about their own thing. Like, we're not hurting anybody. You know what I mean? And
how many people have we ever seen at these shows that talk about crap about us?
No,
have you ever seen them or interacted with them?
No, they'll never come up to us, right? They have their own platforms and they say their own thing, and that's fine. But I just don't see the value in doing that because I don't see the value in putting things down. Like I don't put down I don't put down like any other things. I don't put down basketball cards or high end RPAs or whatever, or zero
or NFTs.
Yeah.
Even though we don't do them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put them down because other people may enjoy them.
Right. Like I might like joke around and call them like junk cards that I wouldn't buy or anything like that. But I wouldn't say that they're bad. And well, I do say that they're bad investments sometimes, but like, I'm not like rooting for them to fail is what I'm trying to say. See, I'm not rooting for them to fail. But
because someone's going to fail and get hurt by it. And I don't want anybody to get hurt by it. Yeah.
But Aaron, this guy right here, Feed the Gods, his name is Aaron. He made a comment before, I think on your YouTube channel, where I read his comment, and it really resonated with me. It stood out to me because he said that, I'm going to paraphrase here, but he said that I don't care what other people say. I like going and hanging out at your guys' table because you make it okay to be a nerd, basically. Like the things that we collect, he collects too, and he feels like he can come out and hang out with us at card shows and talk about these things, and that made me feel really good because that's like us building a community where we can all interact with each other and people feel comfortable enough to come up and talk to us where maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable talking to other people. You know what I mean? About these things.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's really what it's all about. And the bigger we grow our community, the more people collect, the more demand for these cards, the values will rise, guys. See, it all connects. And all we have to do is just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, folks, viewers, if you have never come to one of our shows that Dan and I've been at, but if you come and see us, please come in and talk to us and don't feel intimidated because a lot of times I'll see viewers and they finally message me on Instagram and they're like, Merlin, I saw you and Dan at the show. I wanted to talk to you, but you were talking to other people. I want to let y'all know that a lot of the viewers, they hang out at our table all day long. People are always talking to us. So don't, feel like you're going to butt in, folks. But otherwise, you may not get a chance to talk to us. Mm-hmm. Come and talk to us because people are talking to us all day. By the end of Saturday, I've usually lost my voice. I can't talk, but we love talking to everyone. I don't know about Dan, but I love talking to everybody. So that is the benefits of doing these shows.
Right.
Axel C, don't follow the crowd. Great point. I don't have one Marvel or wrestling card, but I still love your content for the business and hobby aspect of it. People need to focus on what they truly enjoy. That's so true, Axel. I love podcasts. How do you feel about Wwe Prizm prices?
Right now they're too high. They're too high, and honestly, probably some of them are being show bid. I don't. We don't have proof of that or whatever, but I told people don't buy things when they first come out, right? Just let the cards come out, let the cards settle. Right now, supply and dynamics, guys, okay? Supply and demand dynamics. Supply on those cards is very low, demand super high, so the prices are being pushed up. let the cards come out onto the market. When the supply increases, then you can shop around and get better prices for that.
Let them breathe. Let it breathe.
Yeah, but I think they're super cool, and I'm going to start buying those cards pretty soon too, guys, for sure.
Pancake Analytics, can you elaborate more on your definition of a flipper? Seems like investors can flip and collectors as well to have cards pay for their collections.
Okay, yes. So anybody can flip cards, right? It's not hard. You can flip anything. You can buy. Flipping is basically you just buy something and you just try to turn it over really quickly and try to make a profit on it, whatever that profit is, 10%, 20%, 2x, 3x, whatever, right? So there's a lot of flippers in the game for sure, because it's easy to flip cards in terms of like, well, it's not easy to flip cards, but like you have a lot of opportunities to flip cards by going to card shows, by buying online, going to card shows, selling online, whatever, right? But the difference between a flipper and investor is that a flipper, they don't hold anything. They buy it and they turn it over as quick as they can, right? And if you play that game, there's a lot of risk involved in that game, especially with cards, because cards, as we've seen, card prices can be volatile. So there's a lot of risk involved, but if you want to play that game, that's fine. More power to you, right? We need flippers in the hobby because flippers turn over cards, and that creates transaction and data that we can go off of, right? But I'm more of an investor, and I think most of my audience are more investors where we buy things because we enjoy them, because they're collectible. We buy them because we enjoy them and they're collectibles, and we hope that they appreciate in value. Okay. And the only way that they will appreciate in value is if the demand for that collectible increases in the future. That's why we have to talk about them. That's why we have to build communities around them, and we interact with each other to educate people on these collectibles, tell them why we see value in them. And then once we educate people, then their perception of that collectible changes, and then maybe they're willing to pay X amount of dollars for it. Okay. And I'll give you an example of that. Okay. Let me just give a crazy example here. Okay.
Okay. Give me one real quick.
This has become the butt of everybody.
Also, be aware of your time, Dan.
Okay. I've got like 5 minutes and I got to go. Okay. But so G.I. Joe cards. All right. I love G.I. Joe. There's no secret there.
He's the greatest American hero.
Right. They're plentiful right now. Okay. But let's just say right now they're worth like, let's just say this box is worth like $20. Okay. Maybe one day that the demand for these cards overtakes the supply. Okay. And then you have people like me that really love G.I. Joe. I have a whole collection of PSA 10s or whatever. I don't have any, but let's just say I start talking about them and I tell you why G.I. Joe is such a great franchise, why these cards, the artwork is so incredible, why there's such a big community of G.I. Joe collectors that haven't even gotten into the card market yet. And I just educate people on that. And then let's just say I buy a sealed box of this, right, for like $1,000. When they used to be $20, I bought one for $1,000. And I start telling people why I bought it, because there's only one available that's sealed and it's been graded and it's PSA 10 condition and it's such a rare, desirable item. If I tell people that, I'm basically educating them. And when I educate them, their perception of that collectible may change. Where before they may think that it's just a piece of junk and it's worth $20. But after hearing, more about it and understanding it better, maybe they think, okay, maybe it's worth $100, maybe it's worth $200 or $1,000 or whatever, right? That's what collecting is. That's why you always see these auction houses post these videos like Ken Golden. You'll see Ken Golden holding up a super rare item and he tells you about it. He tells you why it's rare. He tells you where it came from. He gives you history. What he's doing is he's promoting it, he's selling it, but what he's really doing is he's trying to change your perception of what you see. Like you may see, for example, right? You may see this, right? And you just think it's a toy. Okay. Yep. This is not a toy. This is the Dark Saber. This is a replica, a die-cast replica from the TV show, right? Made by, I forget who makes this, FX Collectibles or has.
Does a laser really coming out of that?
Yeah. Like if I put it in here, it's a working lightsaber, right? Okay. But what I'm doing is I'm educating you on what this is, so that your perceived value of it will change. If you just look at this on my screen, you might think this is worth $20. Okay. But if I tell you it's all die cast, it lights up, there's a blade that comes in here, it has sounds, it comes in a limited edition box, it has a die cast stand.
Man, wow.
It has a certificate of authenticity, all that stuff, right? Woo. Your perception of it be like, okay, maybe it's not worth $20. Maybe it's worth $50. Maybe it's worth $100 or $200 or whatever, right? It's about how we educate people about our collectibles. And I just feel like sometimes people shame us for doing that. Like they're saying like we're trying to pump it up. What we're not pumping these things up.
We're just sharing it with you.
We're enthusiastic about it, and we're sharing our passion in hopes that you will recognize that passion and also value these things, you know?
I mean, that's probably why the reason people watch us.
Right.
Okay. They know that we enjoy these things, man.
Okay. I've got 5 minutes left, and then I got to go to my secret Marvel Illuminati dinner.
Okay.
But let me try to get to the comments. Sorry, guys, if we can't get to all your comments tonight. Just a little bit short on time. Okay. Let's see here.
Get some more. What do we have? Please. The Ellie. Oh, AJ, I didn't know you can grade movie stubs. It's pretty cool. Yeah, check that out, AJ, if you hadn't seen it already. You can, I guess.
Let me adjust this fool here.
Okay. Bag? Yes, we know.
So this guy who wants me to go on AIH, the guy needs to contact me, okay? He can't make videos calling me out. He needs to message me like a gentleman and ask and introduce himself and ask me why he wants me to be on a show. He can't just make videos about it. That's not proper courtesy in the community, okay? So that's why I'm ignoring that until he actually introduces himself to me like a real person.
Yeah, you should be able to defend yourself, Dan.
Right. Let's see here.
Trader Griff's Fortnite makes a killing selling character skins and props to people. Oh, I bet. Wow.
Okay, so Brad's in the house.
OG card scammer, yo, aloha. I love you, my brothers. Love you too, Brad. Trader Griff's, do you know, guys, what spots you have at the Del Mar Fairground show?
Not yet.
Is that the table area? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, no, we don't. Juan, good to see you. Do you guys collect wrestling toys, Hasbro's, Mattel, Jacks? I think you do, Dan, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a big toy collector, but I stopped a year ago. Cold turkey. Well, not cold turkey, but I kind of stopped collecting toys just because I wanted to focus on cards. But I do have a very large toy collection here. I have this right here. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen it.
Okay. Original 1988 or 89 Ninja Turtles, unpunched, right there.
Gorgeous.
Okay, let's see here. Chris,
I collect Sergeant Slaughter autos. Seems like a no-brainer. Keep up the great work, guys. Yeah, I can imagine Sergeant Slaughter.
I love Sergeant Slaughter. I'm actually thinking about
and G.I. Joe.
I'm actually thinking about starting a Sergeant Slaughter PC myself. So very interesting.
Oh, you are? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got next? Jago, Dan shouldn't have to defend himself for doing nothing wrong. I would ignore it altogether. True, Jago.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Hero 3, I think he has was turned up the whole banned comments thing. Anyway, I want to hear those tenderized stories.
I think he's talking about the AIH guy here. Well, you know, if you don't want me to ban you or block your comments, then don't write stupid comments that are negative and to bring no value. Otherwise, I'm going to have to block you. Because we just don't want any of that stuff in our feed. We don't want that negative energy. We don't want that pessimism.
No.
That stuff. This is not like
even questions. They're just accusations, folks.
Right. This is not open town hall where people can just come and complain about stuff. We're like, this is a fun chat where we come and we show off cards and we talk about things we like and we just have fun. We're not trying to do any of that negative crap. So that's why I try to block people that I just think that bring no value to the chat.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Toa, everyone is on the Wwe Prizm, but you can get so many good autos from Leaf and Tops for cheap. That's true. Tops, Chrome and everything, finest are great cards. Right. There's a lot of great on-card autos that are better than Prizm. Get them while they're cheap, folks. Get them while they're cheap.
Yes.
You heard it from me.
This is going to be my big pump for wrestling cards right now. But we look at those Prizm cards and they're cool. They're Prizm cards. We love the Prizm brand, but they're sticker autos. They're sticker autos. Whereas Topps Chrome, which Prizm copied, right? Prizm is a copy of Topps Chrome. They have on-card autos and they're numbered just like Prizm and things like that. So look at those, guys. Okay, look at those if you want to, sneaky plays in wrestling. Also, the Leaf autos, the Leaf are not always on card. Most of those are sticker, but they have crazy like combinations of autos for,
Right.
for wrestlers and other cards that you've never seen before. And the only reason that Leaf cards are not really valuable is because there's a perception that because they don't have the major sport licenses, that their cards are not valuable. But with wrestling, it doesn't matter, because wrestling, there's no like logos that you have to put on there. So you don't really worry about that stuff. But I tell you guys this, one day somebody's going to validate Leaf cards for what they are. Somebody's going to say Leaf cards are really cool, and they're going to pay a lot of money for it. And when that day comes and that brand gets validated, those cards are going to go for crazy, because they've got like crazy combination. They've got like Muhammad Ali, Hulk Hogan, Pele. They got
Messi, Ronaldo too.
Messi, Ronaldo's, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So don't sleep on Leafs if you want like cool autographs and things like that.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so we got to all our comments here. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Guys, I've been posting a lot on my YouTube channel on Merlin World Cards, so check out some of my latest videos. I've got 2 new ones I posted this weekend. Check me out on Merlin World Cards. Where is it? Right there. Okay. And I'll have some more this week. Dan?
Yes, I would say, just here's my closing message, guys. Here's the takeaway. If you're just coming in or you fast forward through this on the playback, here's the thing, guys. Don't let other people undermine your confidence in your collection. If you want to collect Marvel cards or entertainment cards, wrestling cards, cricket cards, whatever you collect, it's cool. Be proud of it. Have pride of ownership. Show it off. Educate people. Tell people why it's cool, why it has value. Don't let people undermine your confidence about those things, okay? And make you feel bad about it. Because those people, they just have a negative view on life no matter what. And if you are getting into a new market like Marvel, don't let these people undermine your confidence in that. Remember why you got into it in the first place. You got into it because it's cool, you like it, you have fun, you collect it, and you hope that it appreciates. If you got into it for flipping, I'm not talking to you, okay? I'm not talking to the flippers. You guys are a different category. But for all the collectors that follow us, our community, just collect what you like, have confidence in it, and support each other. Cheer each other on to win, okay? Don't root for losses. Don't support people who root for other people to lose. That's not what it's about. We are all part of one card community. The more we build up cards as a legitimate form of collectible, the more people we bring into the hobby that raises the demand will raise the value of our cards, guys, okay? So that's my takeaway message. I hope that you guys please share this. If you agree with it, share it. If you don't agree with it, that's cool. Just don't bother me with any negative comments or anything like that, whatever. But that's my message and take home for tonight. I'm going to the secret Marvel Illuminati dinner where we are planning the next moves for the Marvel category, guys.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
For updates with that. And please subscribe to Merlin World Cards, guys. We need to get his subscriber count up. Other than that, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening to my rant. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
See y'all next week. Bye-bye.